but what's like a range of a valuation cost? And then from a timing perspective, how long do these things take?
Cost, okay, I'm not going to, cost, that's a difficult thing. There's a lot goes into valuations, right? Usually when we get into a valuation, we're going to give a quote, we try to get a balance sheet, because the balance sheet is going to tell us what usually is what's operating and what's non-operating. We have a lot of telephone companies that we do work on, telcos, these small rural telephone companies. And if it wasn't for their investments in these wireless companies, they probably wouldn't be around. So we have their operating company, but then we have their investments in these other investments. And you end up doing valuations on these other investments. So you're doing a valuation inside of a valuation. So we're always looking at the balance sheet to see what's operating, what's not operating, so you don't get stuck in that black hole of time where you bid at that 10,000 and all of a sudden you got 30,000 into it because you really didn't pay attention. So you know, if I'm talking numbers, a calculation report could go. Calculation report, by the way, is something that looks at maybe one method. You're looking at two methods to try to be reasonable with each other, and that's agreed upon with the client. A full valuation or an opinion of value, that looks at all three methods that Tony talked about earlier. So a calculation report would be anywhere, I mean, you could be talking $4,500, $5,000, could go up from there. Full valuation is going to cost $9,500 up to $25,000, $30,000, depends on what's all involved inside of that company.
Yeah, no, I think, I guess from a timing perspective, again, I would say it depends. If there's situations where we're holding up a transaction, those can be, you know, done a lot, quicker if need be. But I think if we get all the information and we have what we need, I think we typically plan 4 weeks, 5 weeks. But again, it can kind of depend on the pipeline and what the needs are. So it's usually we try to keep it a fairly robust process because there's a lot that goes into it. There's diligence and that we're trying to do to understand the business. So that's what can take some additional time.
And it is fairly invasive. I mean, there's a lot of information we're trying to get from the company in order to figure out what all is going on here, what are the agreements involved. So just getting the information can take a lot of time just to begin
Our
with.
philosophy in doing valuations is that we are going to give you an opinion that would be opinion of an independent third party. And a lot of my litigation clients look at me and they're always trying to negotiate me to, like in a divorce. You know, if it's the spouse that didn't own the business, they want the business to be valued up here and they go down there. We're looking at it from an independent third party status. So we need a lot of information. We do need a little bit of time. We are able to work under emergency status, right, Tony?
That's right, yes.
That's the right
I have
answer,
weekends that get shot down pretty quick. So, yeah.